You are now listening to the Project Kuwait. Where we stop at nothing to bring you the right facts on health, fitness, and psychology. Featuring some of the world's most experienced professionals so you can learn, lift, and live. With your hosts, Meg, Dr. D, and Mahdi.
There was a new movement where all these actresses, they're trying to let their gray hair grow so that way they can make a move or a campaign. Gray hair with women is associated with old age, and gray hair in men is associated with sexiness. Why does everyone think they can be a psychologist? Nobody asks them, what are your degree? Everyone could be a trainer, everyone could be a nutritionist. And nowadays, everyone could be a psychologist just because you read an article about mindfulness or well-being. And let me tell you, half of the stuff I've learned in school, I don't even apply because it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit in this culture. There is no menu or ingredients that you're supposed to do A, B, and C for each person. It comes with experience. At least you have a personal responsibility to say, yes, I am a doctor, but I'm not an infection control. Even when you and I want to talk about a subject, we bring a guest that's an expert in that opinion.
All this and more in today's episode. And in this episode of the project, Dr. D is still wishing she had a salon open.
Don't I ever wish a salon, please. I need a manicure, pedicure, please.
I know.
Who can help me with this, man? I can do a lot of things on my own, I've learned. I don't even have lashes. Did you notice? You don't even say anything. I don't have lashes anymore. Because you know how I always wear these, I wear these extended lashes because I have no of my own lashes. And then, of course, I have to take them off. And now I got this conditioner that I can treat my own lashes. This might be 2 years before they grow. Jeez.
What are extended lashes? What is this? I've never heard of that before.
But you've seen them on my eyes. Maybe they were so real, but they were extended and they look like you don't have to wear mascara. I'm sure Haya knows. And now I'm thinking, what the hell? I look like I'm always tired because I'm not used to seeing myself with these lashes. There's no lashes.
I'm so glad I'm a guy and I'm absolutely clueless to this shit. All I do is pay Haya's bills, when she goes to the salon or whatever. But even if I was a female, I don't know if I could go through, it must be tough for you guys, waking up at 5 a.m. for a 8 a.m. meeting to do the hair, the makeup.
I need an hour and a half, especially my hair is long. So yeah, I need an hour and a half. But how is Haya managing with that? Is it just me that is missing my salon or is she?
No, she used to be really hardcore about the salon. She used to be about once a month she'd go to the salon. But
oh, that's it. I go once a week, twice a week.
Oh, wow. Oh, my God. I'd shoot myself if she went twice a week.
I've saved so much money.
I can imagine.
And let me just tell you, I have realized, thank you to COVID-19, by coloring my hair here, it cost me not more than 3 KD to buy this box. And do you know what I also noticed? Is the one I buy is lasting me longer than when I went to the salon.
Oh, really?
Yes, because I have a black hair, so the gray hair shows more. It was 2 weeks and I'm back there. With this one, look, it's been 4 weeks and it's only starting. So now I know they're a ripoff. Seriously. I was telling my friend and she said, well, you don't know that, Juliet? I'm thinking am I an idiot? Am I just a nice person? She's like, everybody knows that, Juliet. They don't put a lot of amino acid so that way you can come back in 2 weeks.
Really? I didn't know that.
Really?
I had no idea.
I didn't know that. She's like, yeah, I have a friend who sells salon products. And she's like, that's what they do. I said, really? I said, so this explains it. I am not doing my hair coloring at the salon. The nanny and I have it packed. We know exactly what to do. I will only go for manicure and pedicure and my lashes. Even though I think I'm going to start treating my lashes nicely and maybe they will naturally grow. Who knows?
So what, your lashes don't grow?
No, it's because I'm addicted to lashes.
Oh, so when you put the fake ones on and when you take them off, they rip off?
Well, yes, I don't even put those. No. If
do you see me grabbing my
days,
eyelashes
yeah,
right
I
now?
see that. I
to
want some of those. I told my son has such nice lashes. I said, Larson, can I just have your lashes? No, it's because if you do those daily ones, they're not that bad. I do the extension ones that you can keep for 2 weeks and then go for maintenance. Well, 20 years of that, you have gaps and you have no lashes. And even though they tell you otherwise, I am a proven living being that says it is not true. you will lose your lashes. But they do have this conditioner now that you can put that is supposed to give conditioning to your natural lashes to grow. Let's see. I don't have anything else to do since I'm in quarantine. I figured let's see if they can grow.
And
my students are like, "Oh, you look tired, Dr. Dinka." I said, "No, it's because I don't have lashes." Okay, don't tell me anymore. It just it makes me feel like I don't have anything on my eye. It's true. Even my Instagram pictures don't look nice, even though I don't know.
And if you're enjoying this segment of the Project Kuwait, please DM Dr. Dinka for more how to do your lashes yourself. And we'll throw in free olive oil. The best thing I come up with olive oil. That's a great infomercial. What do they call them? The beauticians on YouTube. Do you ever watch those girls?
No, I don't have time.
Hale watches them all the time. I'm like, why are you watching? Like, don't you know how to do your own makeup? She's like, I do it for ideas. I'm like, all right, cool.
I don't, but I should do. People tell me I should do the tutorial because even makeup, I don't know how to put. I just put natural one. But when you have lashes, fake lashes, you don't really need to do a lot with your eyes. But now I find like when I'm videotaping, I have to do. So maybe I should do. My daughter watches them all the time. She tells me how to wax my eyebrows. She's only 10. She's become my salon girl. She does my manicure, pedicure. She learns all from the YouTube. I think it's great. Why not?
Hey, whatever works, right? Like whatever works. As long as she's keeping herself busy and she's learning something, I think that's the important thing.
At least we're using natural things and we are saving money. So if it wasn't for this, I would never save money. I just realized now how much money I used to put for the salon. You know, when you spend it and you go regularly, and then I justified by saying, I work long hours and I work many jobs. I deserve this. But when you go and you put 16, 70 KD, and now you're not doing that much, I feel like, wow, maybe it's not about. My hair color is 70 KD because it's long.
Oh, wow. That's insane.
And it cost me 3 KD, and I would rather pay half of that to the nanny for doing it than pay 70 KD at a salon. For what? And it lasts longer.
Oh, that's
seriously.
Insane. See, I don't do any of that shit. I go to the barber once every 3 months. All right. Like I wait until my hair is I get it cut really short and then I just let it grow out for 3, maybe 4, maybe 5 months. I don't color it. I like the whole salt and pepper thing that I got going on. And personally, I enjoy looking my age, maybe a little bit older. Because I think there's a certain...
Yeah, because men are allowed to do that. We women always have to look like we're younger.
Men are allowed to do that? You'd be surprised how many 50, close to 60-year-old guys that I work with that still color their beard and their mustache. And I asked one of the guys, I said, dude, I was like, look, what's the point of coloring your mustache? Like, why don't you... There's wisdom with age, in my opinion. I think there's a lot of wisdom that comes with age. And showing your age shows your wisdom at times. And this guy's like, no, for the young women. I'm like, dude, me and you both know that there are no young women in your life. This guy is like wrapped around his wife's finger. Like, seriously. I was like, me and you both know. Just, no, I have a girlfriend. I'm like, no, you don't. I was like, don't lie, But it's like, I don't understand the older guys that still, I don't know. It's just personally, I'd rather work on working out every day and not losing that time as opposed to going to the salon to get my mustache dyed or whatever, which would be cool. I wouldn't mind, but just for me, it doesn't.
I think our culture welcomes men that if they don't do that, it's still okay. And if they do that, it's still okay. But for women to start having gray hair and to grow it out, you'll see that a lot of times that is frown against it, especially if you are doing media stuff or if you're if you're just a regular person, a mom, for example, or somebody that's not on TV or someone that is not really doing a lot of like spotlight stuff. But most of the time, if you see these superstars on TV, you see that these women are always coloring their hair. Now, we didn't have a problem when Richard Gere was salt and pepper. We don't have a problem with Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise. None of them we have problem with. We still think of them as handsome and sexy. But do you see any of the women they've been with or even the other women who are getting older? None show you their gray hair.
Richard Gere, what's his name? The dude that was on ER?
Oh, that was on the air. Yeah.
Shoot, I can't remember his name.
I love
Anyways,
ER.
he's the first guy that did the salt and pepper thing. Now,
It's not George Clooney.
It was George Clooney.
No.
Yeah, George Clooney. Yeah, he did it.
No, it wasn't George.
Yeah, George Clooney first came out with the salt and pepper
Yeah, but he
thing.
looks handsome.
But wait, why can't actress women or high influential women do the same movement? Like, why wouldn't it work?
They have. And
who?
Oh, now there's a new movement because of quarantine and they can't go to their hair salon. I was just reading that there was a new movement where all these like actresses, they're trying to let their gray hair grow so that way they can make a move or a campaign. But let me tell you, when we go back to the norm, they're all going to be back to their salon, all covering their gray hair, because gray hair with women is associated with old age, and gray hair in men is associated with sexiness and handsomeness. And
is it really though?
Yeah, I find men with gray hair very sexy.
That's awesome.
Salt and pepper, especially.
Then I'm hot.
You don't even have that much.
I should go to some spots with like young women in it. Hey, it would kill me.
Yeah.
She heard me saying that right now. She'd stab me.
Tell her to listen to this episode.
She probably.
Jeez.
What did that lady do in Arizona? Cut off her husband's penis and then threw it in a blender or down the
Lady
garbage
Bobbit?
disposal.
Was she? Yeah, is it Lady Bobbit or
something
Bobbit
like
something?
That. Yeah, something like that. But
jeez.
But it leads into what we wanted to talk about tonight. We're society. We have all these people telling us what we should do, what we shouldn't do. And right now, I think with the COVID-19 and the coronavirus, and we were both talking about, and this pisses me off more than anything, when a dietitian comes on and starts saying emotional well-being. Dude, you're not a psychologist. How much does that piss you off? Because it drives me up the wall.
Man, you don't want me to get started because I will go off. I am so sick. I don't even watch my Instagram anymore. I just go in and then I get these people that are like, and then I was like, this other person, I saw there was an advertisement that she's doing a workshop on something psychology. I texted her and I said, can you please explain to me what exactly is this? Because I don't understand why people that are IT or are they these people that are like doing these different things, they're not even psychologists. Why does everyone think they can be a psychologist? And then it's like, she couldn't even give me an exact example. She probably realized that I was like wondering, what is your qualification? What kills me is that why are people listening to these individuals, especially when it comes to nutrition? What I've noticed is that nutritionists, I don't even know what some of these people's degree in. Nobody asks them, what are your degree? Everyone could be a trainer. Everyone could be a nutritionist. And nowadays, everyone could be a psychologist just because you read an article about mindfulness or well-being. Suddenly now you're an expert. Like, I don't go and tell a plastic surgeon how to do his job. I don't give advice on plastic surgery. Why do they think it is okay? But what bothers me even more, the only reason these people are continuing to do it is because they have followers. Why are these followers really following people that are fake? If it's not why isn't anyone saying a comment to them and say, how do you know this? Why are we always shy away from confronting people who are in a field that is, they're in one field and they're giving advice on another field, especially in my field. Everyone thinks they could be a psychologist. Everyone thinks they can give you an advice. You go on Instagram, this person is telling you how to do self-discipline. This person is telling you how to deal with crisis. This other person is giving you hints on routine. Are you serious? Because they read an article? It doesn't make sense to me at all.
Well, most people take a little bit of knowledge and they spread a whole line of buttered bullshit on it and run with it. For me, it's the medical stuff right now. And I don't know when this episode is going to air, but I'm sure everyone heard about Trump's debacle when he told people to start ingesting Clorox and Lysol. So now we have a lot of people, and I don't want to pick on only nutritionists, but there are a number of nutritionists that I follow and trainers and coaches that I also follow that give out advice that isn't in their realm. If you're not a doctor or a psychologist or someone that has the adequate credentials to give out that information, that's wrong on you, especially when people actually take your words as it. And what bothers me big time is when people are giving out medical advice and they're not doctors. Because someone that is desperate for a solution, and you could probably second this because you're a psychologist, when people are desperate, they will try anything. And I saw someone, they published something, it was a study today, saying that a specific fruit or something contains some enzymes against COVID-19, blah, 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 blah. And like 5 people will believe that. And they'll eat that fruit to death thinking that they're immune to it because they ate so much of it. So, oh, I must have all the nutrients and I must have the defenses. When in reality, that study might have been done on 5 people. People have to understand that when someone publishes a study, go and read that study. Find out what the sample group was. Find out if it was in a controlled environment, because we know controlled environments yield a better result. Correct, Dr. D?
Yeah, of course. But the idea is that it's just the same as like Trump. And then he's like, he's not taking responsibility, of course. But the point of the matter is that regardless, if you are in that kind of a high powered position, when you are trying to be, I don't even know why you want to be sarcastic when we're talking about COVID-19, and this is not the time. But beside the point, there are other people that are, for example, taking time. When you have a lot of followers, for example, or people really trust in your judgment, they're going to take everything you say seriously. So when you get somebody like Trump saying, I was being sarcastic or whatever, people need to understand that your position, just your position, despite that you wanted that position or not, or despite that you really want people to listen to you, having that power, that position, being a president of a country like that, obviously, regardless if you were just throwing it, you were exploring it, was having a word diarrhea, you were just talking out loud. The idea is that, remember, there are going to be a lot of effect in that. I mean, just because after he said that, there were all of these disinfectant companies sending warning signs saying, please read the label on that. Please don't drink it. Please don't do this. And then Maryland, the governor of Maryland, came out and said there were like so many calls to their hotline. The point of the matter, even here, even with Instagram, okay, so you got a lot of followers, some people, if you ask them, they're like, well, they don't have to listen to me. That's just my opinion. You're right. But we have a personal responsibility, social responsibility to be able to represent whatever title we are giving to ourselves, because there are going to be people who are vulnerable, who are going to listen to you. So when you confront these individuals, the answer is, well, they don't have to listen to me. That was just my opinion, or I didn't tell them to do that. People don't really understand that power that they have, especially when you've got people following you. And when do we say it's enough? When do we say you got to be able to use your label and your degrees in the right way? Why? Why is it that medical advice, like people that are not even medical doctors, are telling you to drink vitamin D because that's going to help your immune system? I don't know what all these like BS. Maybe it will work, but why is this person who has nothing to do with medical field or vitamin field?
Yeah.
Why are they telling us? But why are people listening to it? This is what kills me. The people that are putting it out there, I'm pissed off at them, but why are people listening to it? Why?
Desperation. I think at the end of the day, a lot of it comes down to people are desperate right now, especially for answers. And they see someone throwing out whatever evidence and they're like, oh, okay, I'm going to follow it. Or they see a research study. And this goes back to what I was saying a little while ago. There are a lot of people that publish researches on their stories.
Yeah. And their data is shit.
Their data is shit. Or they get this research paper, they read it, they see someone, oh, this place, journal of whatever published it. All right, great. So there was a research conducted on 45 people. Does that adhere to the other 6 billion people that are in the world? No. Because sample size equates for a big portion of whether it's valid or not and whether it will work for everybody, right?
This is the media propaganda, right? So they'll tell you this article said this. But I also hold people accountable that when you are reading this, you don't need a PhD to realize I'm reading this is just one form of information. Nothing is black and white. What people need to understand that this nutritionist is saying this. Okay, I listen to it. And then this other one is saying, I just gather information. I go do my own research. What happens is that we also, as citizens, have responsibility to be able to hold these people accountable. Is it really true? Is it not true? Go check with somebody that really has the right degrees. It's the same thing as I tell people when they're asking me, who should I go to or who's a good psychologist? I say to them, and even my students, the first thing you want to do, you're there, you're paying service. They are obligated to tell you what is their degrees are in. Are they licensed? Are they not licensed? What is their experience? Why are people shy of asking? Do you know, I've been in this field for such a long time. I can give you just maybe a short number of people that have asked me what are my degrees. And maybe they've Googled me, okay. But even if you Google me, why are people not asking me, what are your certification? What are your degrees? Where did you get? Why are people shy? It boggles my mind when people go to a doctor or somebody that's supposed to be certified. We don't know anything about them. Seriously.
No, exactly. Honestly, it's BS at the end of the day. I think people really need to err on the side of caution right now, especially with everything that's happening. And if you are going to take something from a source and you're going to look at people that are publishing things on their Instagrams or whatever it is, or Facebook or whatnot, go to that actual study. Look at the sample size. Look at how it was tested. Look at who it was tested on, what segments. There's so much that goes into it. And research doesn't always solve the problem, and research papers don't. I'm sure you've seen it. What might work on one patient won't work on 10 dozen other patients, right?
And let me tell you, half of the stuff I've learned in school, I don't even apply because it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit in this culture. There is no menu or ingredients that you're supposed to do A, B, and C for each person. It comes with experience. And the idea is that, have you noticed that most people that like go on Instagram or social media, they say, research says.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's it. And the thing is that we are so gullible that anybody that says research says, we think that they're smart, which means that they probably are right and we should believe them. It's like we don't really question what does research means. What research are they really talking about? You want to just listen to them. When COVID-19 started and quarantine, like lots of professionals and expert people were going out saying, don't listen to rumors, just look at these websites. And these are the only places you should hear from, like Ministry of Health and World Health Organization and so on. There are a number of sites that are being proven to be liable. And the other ones were all rumors. So if we can do that, why is it that we cannot teach people that are like calling themselves nutritionists and calling themselves, or trainers, or even people calling themselves psychologists that only have a bachelor? The idea is that, okay, you have a bachelor in psychology. How does that make you a psychologist? I mean, that is my pet peeve. It's like, seriously? Why? How much information can you really acquire? When I got my bachelor, I knew shit. I just had a bachelor in psychology. I didn't have an experience. I wasn't in a program that gave you internship either. And I volunteered just because I wanted to volunteer. But other than that, there were people that graduated with me, didn't know nothing either. How am I going to go out there on Instagram and say, you should do this breathing? And then some people like download some websites that you can, or like links that you can use. And they really want to make themselves feel an expert. Nowadays with the social media, it's like people really are doing, this is called false advertisement. And then they're not, but the thing is that for me, for example, like I would be worried to put an information out there that's going to affect someone and then later hold me accountable because I'm the one that made this person act or behave in these things. Like, do these people not have the same sense of conscience? I don't get it. Do they not think that what they're saying can be dangerous? I don't know.
Most of the time, they just probably buy into their own bullshit. I mean, personally, whenever I've published something on the project, I've always said it depends, and I've always stated the sample size, and I've always stated an argument for and against. And I think that's the important thing that some people need to look at also. We talked about this in previous episodes of the falseness of people faking it till they make it, the life coaches and all that crap. And I think right now, as if you are an influencer or you have an influence of 1,000 people that follow you, let's say for someone that has 1,000 or 500 people that actually follow them, you have to be wary of what you're telling these people. And if you say vitamin C and some zinc is going to keep you away from corona, then that's wrong on you because they might believe you and go out. Like that's where my biggest problem comes into play. That's where my biggest issue is right now, is especially with the medical professionals. If a doctor tells you, then okay. Even with a doctor, I still question that shit sometimes.
And not every doctor really knows. You have to be an infection control doctor to know about this. So that's another problem, is that people think it's just any doctor will say anything. There are some doctors I really respect. They'll go on Instagram and say, look, I don't know anything about COVID. This is not really I just know these things that I've read. Like, at least you have a personal responsibility to say, yes, I am a doctor, but I'm not an infection control. It's the same thing for me. Even when you and I want to talk about a subject, we bring a guest that's an expert in that opinion.
Yeah.
We know a little bit about it, and then we bring in experts. So that way the information is coming from someone that knows. We cannot just go out there and just because any doctor, if you have a personal responsibility, you have to qualify yourself and say to yourself, I have heard this, or I saw this. I'm not really sure. This is what people do. But because we have such a narcissistic society And people that just want to get themselves to be known, they'll make it look like it's 100%. And that's not true. And that should be illegal.
Yeah.
Should be illegal but if you go out there and say I think there's a difference between people that are responsible and say, look, I heard this, I read this today and I wanted to discuss it with you, or there are some statistics saying this, but I'm not sure. I understand. But to go out there and pretend like you're a psychologist just because you read one article and suddenly now you know how to do hypnotherapy because you took one course doesn't really make sense. Again, for me, I have a lot of ethics, I have values, and I feel like I need to be true to my values. Do these people not have the same sense of responsibility? I don't know. I have no idea. Is money matters more nowadays?
It's not money. I don't think they're going after money. I think for more of them, they're addicted to this false love and false sense of fame that they're chasing, especially for some people that miss the boat on the Instagram or the Instafluencer or whatever the frig they call it now. But I mean, a lot of people, I just see them, they're spewing out a lot of it. My cousin's a doctor. Okay. My cousin is a doctor. He is testing people every day. God bless him for that. And I think all the medical professionals right now, there are soldiers fighting this thing right now.
I salute them. Yep.
And
that's true.
I was like, oh, have you seen what so-and-so posted? And he goes, dude, I stopped unfollowing all of those people. He was like, it's bullshit. They are throwing out some pseudoscience. They're not doctors. And he was like, I will tell you right now, we don't know what's going on with COVID-19. There are so many different strains that are popping up. There are different symptoms that people are having. He was like, we don't know. We're still learning. He's like, this is essentially 8 months old, and he's like, that's what it is. He was like, don't believe it unless you see it published. He was like, unless you see something on like CNN or Fox where both of them agree, like this is like a cure and they found the vaccine, don't believe this shit. And I agree with him 100%. Yes, elderberry and ashwagandha, they have thousands of years of research or thousands of years of use against the common cold, but they're not going to support you against fucking carnivore virus or anything for that matter. And it's just like, I don't know. I honestly, it's just pissing me off more and more. But for you guys, for you psychologists, I mean, everyone's a shrink now, so I love it. I just love seeing what they spew out. And I'm just like, do you even know who Freud is? For most of these people, I bet you if you DM them and said, do you know who Freud is? They would be clueless.
Yeah, of course. And like I said, people really don't understand that our job has a sense of responsibility. Really, to be honest, like I said, it's the same issue I had with this like coaching. So coaching now, they are allowing themselves to be called doctors, and they've gone to 1 year or 2 years of whatever training, and suddenly now they can give you advice. They're not allowed to be diagnosing, but they do. Like, when do we say it's enough? And I'm not going to wait for like laws to be implemented because that's like a long way from now. I feel like people really need to be more responsible. You're paying for a service. Why don't you ask this person how much do they really know if you're going to see them for counseling? But if you are in Instagram, why are people following them? Like for me, I unfollow anyone that I find them to be untruthful or they're annoying or they're telling you stuff I know it's wrong. And maybe I should send a message and saying, why are you saying this?
Is it untruthful or is it self-belief? Like, is it I believe in myself and believe in what I'm saying so much that I don't see that I'm crossing that line? And then for the people that are following them, I mean, a lot of them are followers, for instance. The word follow. They follow people and follow what they say. So, you're kind of like, it kind of sucks for both sides because this guy doesn't really understand what he's doing is wrong. Or this other person doesn't really understand that what he or she is doing is wrong. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, but it's wrong either way. I mean, no, it's not self-belief. The idea is that this person wants to act like he's an expert because he didn't have time to go to a proper school and get the proper certification. That's not my problem. So these people just want to have a label of being an expert without really having to work hard for it. And then so it's their personal responsibility. Even if you are, some people might think, well, it's not harming anyone if I told you vitamin D is good for your immune system. Vitamin D doesn't harm. Maybe they're right. Maybe what they're saying is that they're not saying like you're having a heart attack, go get a surgery. But the information in their mind is not that harmful. And I read it, so there's truth to it somewhere. I think it's our personal responsibility. If people would have more ethics, maybe that's the problem. Right now, people are much more busy trying to be famous than to implement their ethics. We have less and less people in the professional field that have less ethics. They don't have any values. Or so the idea is that, is it wrong to say a statement like vitamin D or zinc, or like that fashionista that was saying, she didn't even say, I read it somewhere, because there were a lot of things out there that saying that if you drink a lot of hot liquids, it's going to remove some of the virus from your chest. Okay, why didn't she just say, I read this? She's a fashionista. She could have come out and said, look, you guys, I was reading this. This is what I heard. I'm not sure how it's true, but I just wanted to share it with you. Now, that would not be unethical to me, because then it's my decision to want to try it or not. Why are people coming out there? Like I said, it's not really self-belief. It's like they have low self-confidence. They're not confident in the information they have in whatever field they is. So they wanted to add another layer to their knowledge. Seriously? So now you want to be a psychologist because just being whatever it is that you are is not enough? And psychology, despite what people think, I don't just sit. I mean, a lot of people think our job is easy because I just sit and I listen to people's problem. It's a responsibility. I have a big responsibility with all my patients, because I know whatever I'm going to say to them is going to affect them. So I have to, even me, when they ask me things that I don't know, like medication, I'm not a psychiatrist. I know some stuff about medication from experience, but I always say, I don't really know. Let me check with the psychiatrist, or you check with your psychiatrist. Always qualifying it. I can also pretend that I have an MD, and when a patient, and I have a lot that ask me, do you think I should do right now for Ramadan, for example? They ask me, do you think I should take both dosage after futur? It's not my job.
Yeah.
I say to them, I'm not really sure. I got to check. I could just lie to them, and believe me, they'll believe me. It's not even lying. I would say, yeah, I think it's okay. And they would do it. But then tomorrow, when they have major symptoms, they might not die, but they might have major symptoms, and they're going to blame me. Why would I want to put myself in that situation?
No, 100%. And I think you nipped it right in the bud, and I agree with you completely. And it's coming down to ethical values, and hopefully people smarten up both sides of the fence. Because, I mean, people just feed their egos too. So I think that's the other side of it too, is what do you do when people are feeding into it? What is it? Positive reinforcement, right? It would be positive reinforcement for a negative action, correct?
Yeah. And of course, because look, it's a responsibility of both people. Maybe people will get mad at me because they're going to say, why are you putting it on me? I'm just a follower, like you were qualifying them. I say, you are the follower, but you are also in a position to being, you're following. It's the same thing as paying for a service. You are following. That means you're giving this person an ability or opportunity to follow them because you really believe in their skills. People are smart. You don't need a PhD to know that this person is a beautician. Why is she talking to me about how to sleep better? Seriously? How is this person going to know anything about insomnia? Like, we as human beings, as listeners, we should start thinking a little bit. Why are we not thinking? Why are we all hypnotized by following people and just don't question them? This is what I don't understand.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter how much I like the person. I like a lot of people and I follow people that I respect. But tomorrow, and maybe because I have a big mouth, but tomorrow, if they say something I don't understand, I research it, I understand it, and I put it out there in a question to them. I don't even have to attack them. Why are people worried about questioning these?
Yeah, no, 100%.
Bloggers, and why? I mean, I don't understand. So there's two positions here. I hold the followers, I hold them accountable to be able to listen to this information and stay quiet. And I also hold accountable the person that is putting the information out there, that they lack ethics. Like I said, I think what they're justifying it is that it's not plastic surgery. I'm not saying information that will kill you. Like, not like Trump, disinfectant. Now that was from all the comments, that would be like the most lethal. So a lot of these people are not making lethal comments, at least the ones I've seen. But at the same time, it doesn't matter. There's no rate 0 to 1, 10, 0 to 10, 10 more lethal. So let me do 5.
Yeah.
There is an opportunity. If you're really interested in learning more about psychology, go get a degree in psychology. Leave the psychologists do their job. I leave the surgeons do their job. Leave the nutritionists. If everyone would mind their own business, maybe we can collaborate. Maybe if this nutritionist or trainer, they don't know, invite someone on your Instagram and let them talk.
That's what we do. That's what the
I mean?
Project Kuwait does. We bring all the experts to the forefront within Kuwait and outside of Kuwait. That's the whole point of it. That's the point of this podcast, is to bring experts out to the forefront so people can learn from these experts. We had Dr. Ziegler on. His episode will air. He was an eye professional. We had doctors on that were on the front lines of COVID-19. We had Laura Nisi on from Italy, who was living through COVID-19 when it first started. And what pissed me off with that is someone sent us a message saying, oh, what can we learn from Italy? And I'm like, you dumbass, you idiot. It's like when someone falls, you find out how did they fall, why did they fall, and how can I prevent myself from falling, right? It's just some people are just stupid, in my opinion, know, and especially when it comes to the masses. And we've talked about it before in previous episodes. And I think we did it in the life coach episode where we talked about how the masses can be stupid at times. And it's true. And I just want to leave everybody with a thought of, if someone claims that they have research that supports something, then you yourself should go out there and question that person who put that article on there. Find out what the study was about, who conducted the study, what they found in the research, how the data was collected, because that's another one. And you could second this. Surveys sometimes are inadequate. The sample size, the response,
that's right,
the research methodology, the findings, whether they were generalized or situational, and take it from there and then leave it to your own general opinion to find out. And I guarantee you'll come up with the same exact friggin' conclusion I always come up with. This friggin' is like 50-50 either way. You know what I mean? Which a lot of research points to.
It's true. And, I'm an academic. Let me tell you, I know a lot of people in academic, they make up their stats. I know that we're not supposed to. And I know we're supposed to be professional, and that's against ethics. So if they ever get caught, they'll be fired. But I know there are people, they are dying to go in the rank of like their academic rank. In America, they're dying to have that tenure track or become a professor that they will have, because you have to be published or you have to write a book. I can tell you, I know a lot of people who've made up things, who've fabricated things, even big names, actually, that now they've done research on them and they've realized they were big for no reason.
Yeah.
So ethics and values is questioned all the time, especially when it comes to research. So the idea is that I read a lot of articles, but I just get the information. I don't apply it 100%. I look at the numbers. I, as a person, have to ask myself, does this really make sense for me or does it not? Again, we want to hold people accountable that are in those positions, but obviously if they lack values and ethics, then I don't follow them.
Yeah.
If they continue to give me advice on psychology, and I know they're not psychologists, people should have the common sense to unfollow, for God's sake. Why are you staying following? Because you like this person, because you don't want to hurt their feelings when they find out you unfollowed them. But if we don't do that and we don't make a stand, more and more of these fakeness will continue. More and more of these people will give advice that are not necessary because, and also it's not necessary because there are other people giving the same advice that are qualified.
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
not like they're sharing information no one else will share. Vitamin D and zinc, let me tell you, there's a lot of doctors who are qualified are sharing that information. So why hear it from these individuals? Hear it from the right source and question it. Why people, they need to stop feeling bad about confronting, feeling bad about unfollowing. I don't care. I've unfollowed people. Look, I follow you. I liked you. And then when I realize your material is becoming shit, I unfollow. It's my right. And people need to really exercise that right.
Just so everybody knows, I give you all the permission to unfollow Dr. D.
Yes,
I'm just messing.
You can unfollow.
I'm just messing with you.
I don't care. No, and I don't care.
I love your Arabic.
The idea is I am very I hate it. But I've been told I should speak more in Arabic, but I really hate it. I hate hearing it. But whatever, as long as the message is out there.
I like when you're more natural. I like you on the project. I love it when you're on the project.
Yes.
You are so natural. When we do like our little things together, it's so natural. And I love catching you off guard because you're like, wait, what? And then I'm like, yeah, I explained it to myself in my head. And you're like, but you didn't explain it to me. But I think we can end it there. I know.
I wish I could do, but we haven't done Arabic we need to do Arabic in the project.
Yeah, you could do the Arabic. I hate Arabic. Oh my God. I listened to an Arabic interview that I did with
the Kuwaiti.
Yeah, but I mean, It's so hard because like I can speak it at work and everything, but when I'm interviewing someone, it's so much harder because I haven't practiced. You know what I mean? Like I practice English interviews.
Yeah.
When I was interviewing Dalia, she's a CrossFit coach, bodybuilder, whatever, and her interview was in Arabic. I re-listened to it and I was like, oh my God, I am horrible in Arabic. And I'd say 50% or 60% of what I'd say was in English anyway, so it didn't even matter. But I mean, I leave it to the guest. If the guest is good, then it's a good episode. If the guest sucks, then it's going to be a shitty episode. So, but on that note,
hey, I have to tell you before I forget. A lot of my students have been commenting about how they've seen that you're promoting the project, or they've seen the project somewhere. So they've been telling me a lot lately that I should tell you, and I keep on forgetting. So it means that we're doing a good job if a lot of people are realizing we have the Project Kuwait. So
hell
job
yeah.
on
Hell
that.
Yeah. You see, you need to wear your t-shirt.
Mahdi.
Okay. You need to wear your t-shirt, Dr. D. All right. See that?
When you take pictures, I wear it.
You have a shirt. You don't wear it.
I only have one. You're supposed to, at least I need another one so I can change.
Well, you need to wear it. You need to
Do we
wear
have
your
different
shirt.
colors?
No, we only have one color. I'm cheap. Our budget didn't come through quite yet.
It doesn't include that. When do you want me to wear it? I wear it, but we don't take pictures here. Let's do it.
Whenever I podcast, I got to get in the mood. It's a mindset, okay? It's a mind frame that I got to get into. It's like going into a game. I got to get into that mind frame. I got to be in my project shirt. I got to embrace the feelings here, and, I go with it from there. That's why I'm so damn good. No, but we're doing good. We're doing really good.
I see.
As a podcast in the Middle East right now, I'd say we are the only surviving Kuwaiti podcast. Everyone else dropped off like flies, which I knew they would because it takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
No,
a lot of work.
Our mutual friend that we know, he couldn't stick around because it takes a lot of work. And if you don't get that instant gratification, which everybody is looking for nowadays, it's tough to do. It's really tough. But I can say after doing it for a year and a half right now, and especially looking at the statistics for podcasts globally have gone down. But our numbers since COVID-19 have shot up dramatically. And we're talking like a 30% boost.
Good.
So we're covering the right topics, we're bringing the right people on, and we're doing the right thing. And we're not full of shit like most people. So that's always a good thing.
Exactly. Not full of shit. And now we can end it. Please.
We got to give credit to Emmanuel, our sound guy, who does a great job.
Yes, he does. Good job, Emmanuel.
But on that note, everybody, so please support the show and continue to support the show, and head over to your iTunes account, scroll all the way down, and go to leave a rating and review, and leave us a really good rating and review so that you can boost this show up more and help us out if you really like the show, and we would really appreciate it. Thanks for listening to this episode. If you enjoyed it, please head over to iTunes to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. You can also find us on Instagram at The Project Kuwait. Thank you, and join us next time.